Chapter 11, page 263. Explanations of the characteristics of a Meingnāna guru. Only God will know the glory of God. Only God will know his power and his creation. Amin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. My son, the human race is composed of millions upon millions of lives, each having its own subtle grade of wisdom. Among these human beings, there are also millions upon millions of different kinds of spiritual teachers, each disciple filled with the acquired qualities and actions that match his wisdom will join a teacher whose wisdom and powers seem, to the disciple's intellect, to be appropriate for him. Among all the creations of Allah, man is the most exalted and has the greatest clarity of wisdom. But even though man was created by Allah as his secret, he lives his life without a thought of realizing that secret, or himself. As a result, man, who is born so noble, forfeits his wisdom and stands divided, separated into 73 different groups. Every human being has 96 inherent forces or tattvas, the strength intrinsic to each of his qualities. These inherent forces combine and manifest in varying amounts within each human being. Of the 96 forces within man, 36 belong to Satan, while the rest are unique to man. In addition to these, man has 4 other forces, those belonging to earth, fire, water, and air. These 100 forces exist connected to each other within man, manifesting as his body, as his physical visions, as the aesthetic arts, as ghosts, as deities, and as many other forms and shapes. To subdue and control these 100 forces, to bring clarity to them and make them work for him, and through this to reveal the secret of Allah's truth, the resplendence of the soul, which is Allah's essence, that has come as man's perfectly pure wisdom of Jnanam, as the Nur, as Allah's secret, as his perfect purity, as his truth, as his patience, and as his justice. It is to know this that we who are insan, human beings, have come here. My son, if, having known this truth, realized himself and understood the aforementioned forces within himself, one can keep all of them subdued and controlled, and see within them the eternally indestructible thing of perfect purity. And if, with his divine luminous wisdom, he can contemplate, know, and realize that treasure which has no beginning, end, or destruction, then, when he loses himself within divine luminous wisdom, Jnanam, and the light of that wisdom disappears within Allah, he will have escaped from the 72 groups and come to dwell within the 73rd group, the group of Allah's That, his essence, shining in their midst as the Jnana Guru, or divinely wise spiritual guide, radiating as the resplendence of divine wisdom, both in this world and in the next. Once this state is realized, he will see that there are 101 names, 100 for Allah and 1 for insan, man, and that it is this number that is reflected in the 101 mantras, the 101 prayer beads, tasbih beads, and the 101 dhikrs, the remembrance of God. This number has been increased or decreased in various ways by different people who understand or practice this remembrance in their own way, each according to his respective level of wisdom. It is such a being who comes as the Meingnāna Guru, the teacher of divine wisdom, to the 73rd group. He discovers the meaning of the 28 letters that constitute his form, or surat, and as he understands his form even further, he comes to know the 5 elements, earth, fire, water, air, and ether, thus recognizing a total of 33 things within his form. Such a teacher, the Jnana Guru, seeing his form as the 33 glorifications of God, realizes that this is the significance of reciting the tasbih 33 times, and comes to know and understand the meaning of those 33 tasbih. And through that knowing, this wisely divine teacher, who is a true man, realizing that his own form is the 33 glorifications, comes to know himself and his Lord. However, those in the other 72 groups have deviated from truth, fallen under the influence of the 96 forces, or tattvas, inherent within them, and acquired the qualities and actions of those forces, cultivating the kind of piety befitting their respective levels of intellect. They treat the wisdom that goes with those inherent forces as equal to God, call it divine wisdom, and thereby earn for themselves the dubious title of Jnana Guru, or spiritual teacher. Thus, every one of these 72 groups, each from its respective level of wisdom, which never fails to remember the place of birth, will preach what it calls divine wisdom. No matter which inherent forces those gurus in the 72 groups exist in as they study, what they will be praising are but the forces of illusion, Maya Shaktis, that gave birth to them, calling those forces by names such as Paramesvari, Mahashakti, or Mahadevi, invoking them with entrancing mantras or incantations stemming from illusion, Maya. They awaken and arouse the 1008 energies, kales, of the deities conceived by their minds, make those energies manifest, and then, showing people the place of birth from which they arose, they make them worship those same energies. If, however, there happens to be a man of divine analytic wisdom who, realizing the truth, attempts to extricate himself from these false teachers and make his escape, they will lure him back by showing him the joys of the 64 sensual pleasures, delude and dull his wisdom, and cover his resplendent eye of wisdom by applying pastes of various colors, tilak, to his forehead where the Gnostic eye is located. In this way, they will reduce him to the blindness of ignorance and return him once again to Parashakti, which is the energy of illusion that caused him to be born. My brother, such gurus and the disciples who follow them will lay claim to many wondrous feats of illusory deception through these energies of illusion, Maya Shaktis. Some of those feats, They will capture a donkey and waste their time trying to turn it into a horse. They will attempt to turn a monkey into a man. They will try to turn a man into a monkey. They will attempt to transform a cat into a tiger. They will attempt to train a tiger to be a vegetarian. These gurus and their associates will sing songs that promise to perform many praiseworthy feats similar to the ones mentioned above. In addition, every day they will bathe the donkeys, which are the 10 sins. They will trap the wild jungle monkey and train it to do the antics of mind monkeys. They will wash a cat and tell it, become a tiger. They will catch a tiger, wash it, and keep repeating to it, become a cat. They will claim to have turned a cat into a vegetarian, all the while surreptitiously feeding it mice. They will even claim to have made a vegetarian out of a tiger, while feeding it on the sly with the meat and liver of a human being. My son, take a good look at these types of gurus and disciples. They claim to have turned a donkey into a horse by the power of their thoughts. They claim to have trained a wild monkey in the antics of the city and transformed it into a human being. They claim to have turned cats into tigers and made them eat human flesh. They claim they can turn tigers into vegetarians and then transform them into gurus of true Shaivam, bestowing high titles on them. It is such tiger cubs, anointed with exalted titles, who shine in this world as gurus of the forces of illusion. Such gurus, belonging to the 72 groups, commit the 5 heinous sins without the slightest fear in their minds, and then firmly establish their disciples in the same state, heap titles on them, elevate their status, and advertise their greatness to the people. The first step in their quest for divine wisdom is to imbibe evil and poisonous intoxicants such as alcohol, whiskey, beer, brandy, gin, arak, marijuana, opium, and many other such substances that destroy their wisdom. In addition, these gurus will tell their disciples that imbibing intoxicants, which is the first of the 5 heinous sins, is an essential prerequisite for the emergence of divine wisdom, and that this is the first step called Sarye, or Sharia. A guru of this type will also extol the strength and the force within each of these intoxicants, explaining that it gives energy and vitality to the body and can cure a number of diseases. Saying this, the guru will drink it, make the disciple drink it, and go on extolling it to those who are his followers. To such people, this will be the stage of Sarye. The second step of their development is to tell lies, to destroy virtue and modesty, to steal, to speak hypocritically, to commit murder, and by pretending friendship with one's enemy, to ruin his family. Such gurus invoke the forces of illusion, the Maya Shaktis, convincing their followers that the performance of such acts constitutes the stage of Kyrie or Tariqat. They explain to them that it is even greater Kyrie if those actions can be accomplished without letting others become aware of them. They strive by pretenses of love and through costumes and behavior to become acclaimed as great ones. The disciples, attracted by these actions, praise and emulate them with great respect. Liberation, or mukti, to these gurus and their followers, is the freedom acquired through such actions. To them, the third step, yogam, is to murder another man's heart, his love, his compassion, his truth, his patience, and the power that comes from that patience, to kill through treachery without actually taking that life, to steal from others in order to selfishly nurture their own bodies, to destroy truth, conscience, and faith, and to search for and track down one who has been born as man and lives as man, then capture him, beat him, and chase him out of his country. This is the stage of yogam to such people. The acme of this yogam is, as the proverb says, to keep one thought inside while saying something quite different on the outside, and ruin the family of your enemy by pretending to be a friend. Thus, they use cunning and stratagem and sweet-sounding words to win the friendship of their enemy, and then instill their own evil thoughts into him in order to transform him into their own evil likeness. However, if that man, convinced that he must live as a man and die as a man, refuses to listen to these false gurus and attempts instead to explain the wisdom of truth to them, they will scheme and plot against him. They will pretend to want to be friendly with him, but in the end they will try to kill him without actually taking his life. This will be the pinnacle of the yogam practiced by these gurus and their disciples. The fourth step, jnanam, or grace-awakened wisdom, according to these gurus, is to conduct their entire life by the fifth great sin, falsehood and lies. They make that falsehood the truth for their lives and for the world, make it their God, and lose themselves within it, the lie losing itself within them, and all the karmas of the world losing themselves within that lie. The true wisdom for them, the wisdom of worldly illusion, is to shine as gurus merged as one with that state of falsehood, and to rule the world with that lie. They will be celebrated and glorified the world over as gods who, without a single trace of duality, merged with falsehood. It is such people who shine as the gurus and disciples in the 72 groups. My son, please understand this state clearly. If the 5 great sins did not emerge within them, that false wisdom of theirs would not blaze forth. My son, you must understand this state clearly. On the other hand, my son, the true teacher of divine wisdom, the Meingnāna guru, whom we mentioned earlier, subdues, controls, and brings under his rule all the inherent forces or tattvas within him, realizes the truth, makes the light of his wisdom resplend, disappears within it, then makes the resplendence of that wisdom disappear within the effulgence that is the one all-pervasive omnipresence, comes to know the truth of that effulgence, and goes on resplending from within that effulgence. It is such a one who will be the Meingnāna guru for the 73rd group. He subdues the inherent forces of the 5 elements that surround him, brings them under control, ties them up, and tosses them into a corner. He captures the 6 heinous evils, lust, wrath, greed, infatuation, bigotry, and envy, which were the cause of his arrogance. Using the light of his wisdom, he captures the braying ass of arrogance, Satan's pack mule, and makes Satan climb onto it, and loading onto it all the bundles that Satan had stacked up earlier, he gives it a whack with the whip of wisdom, saying, "Go to those 72 groups that lead people only to the place of their birth. Unload these bundles there and stay there, wherever it was that you appeared from. Return now to that same place without looking back. Having beaten and chased away that ass of arrogance, the teacher of divine wisdom traps and ties up the mischievous, troublesome monkey mind that came riding on the 5 elements of desire called the world, shows the monkey the mirror of dazzling brilliance, which is the radiance of the resplendent wisdom of his jnana, and says, "Hey, monkey, look at this mirror." As soon as the monkey sees its own form within that mirror, it forgets all the thoughts it had brought with it, and now thinks only about that form. Believing that the form in the mirror is its own kith and kin, it keeps trying to hug it. Failing to succeed after repeated attempts, the monkey drops down exhausted and dazed. Moreover, intent only on hugging that form, it keeps on trying over and over again, refusing all food, heartbroken, and unable to indulge in its usual mischievous pranks and antics. Everything the monkey brought with it, the world, attachments, desires, gold, and the dark veils of the karmic evils of the 70,000 worlds, as well as the monkey pranks and antics that go with them, all these lie forgotten, while the monkey goes on gazing at itself in that mirror. Thus does the jnana guru make that monkey pine and waste away to its death. After that, while looking into the shining mirror of his wisdom, the jnana guru sees the serpent that has come with the intention of killing him by any means possible at the first opportune moment. "Oh-ho," he says, "one can trust the river or the wind, one can trust the venom of the deadly serpent, one can trust the most ferocious elephant in the frenzy of lust, one can trust the killer tiger, one can trust robbers or hunters, one can trust even the emissary of the angel of death. But it is dangerous to trust the raised hood of the poisonous cobra, which is the sensual pleasures of Maya. This snake, which emerges from the pit of the delusion, Mayakam, of Maya, is an even greater menace to life than the powerful angel of death, and is capable of bringing about our utter degradation. With this thought, the jnana guru decides that he must somehow or other kill that serpent while it is still within that pit of Maya, and holding the razor-sharp sword of wisdom in his hand, he makes the radiant resonance of his wisdom thunder. The thunder of that resonance, accompanied by lightning, bursts forth in sharp blasts from the resplendence that is the luminous wisdom of jnana, showering brilliant rays of light. When the thunder of this resonance is heard within the pit of Maya, and the poisonous cobra emerges, raising its head above the hole to look, the brilliance of those rays shatters that cobra's eyes. As it reels about hither and thither with its eyes blinded, half dazed and unaware of where it is going, the jnana guru raises the sword that is the sharpness of wisdom and cuts off the cobra's head. Along with this, he also destroys its associate, the 7-headed serpent that arose from the 7 hells, carrying with it the toxic poisons of the netherworlds and the 7 base instincts, the nafs amara, which are its qualities. Then, using the very poison brought by the serpent, the jnana guru burns to ashes the 7 horrible evil hells, as well as all the evil things in the illusory worlds of Maya. My son, you must know this clearly. It is such a one who will be the divinely wise teacher, the Meingnāna guru, for both worlds. No worldly desire is within him, and he does not dwell within worldly desire. The antics and pranks of the illusory monkey of the mind are not within him, and he is not to be found within those pranks. There are no poisons of hell within him, and he is not to be found within those poisons. Know all of this well. The only thing he keeps within him is God, nothing else. Whatever people may ask the Jnana Guru for, he will know what their true intentions are, either from their words or from the thoughts stored in their minds, and he will give back to them the very things they keep within themselves and cherish most. But if someone who has analyzed and reflected a great deal comes to the Jnana Guru and asks for only that eternal, indestructible treasure that is Allah's secret, he will teach him virtue, love, good conduct, and the rules thereof, fill him with patience and tranquility, discourse on truth and integrity, make him understand that truth, plant the flag of faith and certitude. And once the disciple has developed to maturity, he will give him that treasure. He will unfurl the flag of faith and hand over the treasure that he possesses, Allah, who is truth. That truth is Allah's secret. Only one who has attained this state and has received this treasure from the true teacher will acquire the resplendence of the soul. The one who teaches this will be a Meingnāna guru, and the one who studies the truth and acquires clarity thereby will be a disciple of the grace of Jnanam, divine wisdom, and a disciple of God. A guru with this state of wisdom gives this teaching. A Jnana guru with more exalted, resplendent wisdom may be able to explain millions upon millions more of Allah's secrets once the disciple attains realization. But these things can be understood only up to the level of each one's wisdom. A true guru will use his wisdom to analyze all the physical visions seen in this illusory world, discard the illusory sights and scenes, and keep the truth that is within them. One of lesser wisdom, on the other hand, will discard the truth and keep only the physical visions. My son, in this world there are two things that surround a man of wisdom. One is truth, the other is falsehood. What is false is all the physical visions seen outside. They constitute unreal form. Yet within that unreal form dwells the truth. It is the form of grace, a resplendence. To separate the two and to discard the lie and keep the truth, one needs the radiance of the light of wisdom. If one in that state were to analyze with his wisdom, he would see both the illusion of the lie and the grace of the truth. One who has pushed away those visions and seen the truth is one of wisdom. Know well that he alone will be a true man. Wisdom is the mainstay for every creation, under all circumstances. For each creation, wisdom should be its most valued treasure, and this alone will be the undiminishing wealth for man's life. The wealth each one receives will be in direct proportion to his wisdom. So said the teacher of divine wisdom, the Jnana Guru. Amin, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu kulluhu. May it be so, O Lord of the universes. May the peace, the beneficence, and the blessings of God be upon you. Amin.